I'm back, and I guess I'm going to get my finger out of the eye of the camera first of all. And as I film No Name here, I'm going to try again with the video of what I add to his tank, kind of for the benefit of him and for the benefit of the plants. Yes, this is the video that I got salty about, and apparently it's not going to upload, so I'm gonna have to remake it. Which, there goes my finger in front of the camera again. Kind of sucks for obvious reasons. Nobody likes to remake a video that was good enough. So I've put off making this video for so long because I wanted to give some idea of what I can do before mentioning a drastic idea that really is classified as a bad idea, probably for understandable reasons. But I do ask that, well, if you can give it a chance, to really give this idea a chance, you need, a fish tank to water your plants with, and all of that. If you're into plants but not fish, not really a great idea to add a pet for the benefit of another pet. That's just, I mean, sometimes people get a second dog so that their first one can have company, but yeah, at least you're into dogs. I mean, going from growing to something that doesn't really have much of anything to do with plants. I mean, you can have a planted fish tank, but yeah, it's just, if you're not into fish, this is probably not a good fertilizing solution for your plants. Okay, but what it is I actually add to my freshwater Oscar tank here, I add marine aquarium salt. Obviously nowhere near what a marine fish tank would require. He would be dead, wouldn't he? Yeah, way too much salt. But freshwater fish can handle, I don't know if it's 10% or just 1/10 of seawater, but they can handle quite a bit of salt in their water. I'm not going to be getting it up anywhere near even brackish water levels, because that would be too much, not only for the fish but the plants too, and I'd be going the wrong way. So what I am adding is 1/4 teaspoon. How's that for a small amount? 1/4 of a teaspoon to this 55-gallon tank. And last year I did that 3 times throughout the year. This time I'm going to do it 4. And just slowly build up. And if I notice negative effects, either in the fish's respiration or the plants declining, then I will stop there. Otherwise, I'll I've got a cutoff point in mind, but this is a long-term, very long-term experiment for finding out how much is enough. I don't really want to know how much is too much. I just want to know how much is enough. And then stop there. So it's going to be a long-term project, because obviously too much salt in your plants is going to kill them as if they were a slug, right? Yeah, definitely. My banana plant has a story about how it got too much marine salt. And it did not like me for quite a long time. So I want to find out how much is enough. And how did I come to the idea that adding marine salt for plants is anywhere near a good idea? Yeah, if you would have told me that, adding, what is meant for a marine fish tank to your plants, if you would have told me that's a good idea before I got the idea, I would laugh at you and say you're nuts, because salt kills plants. I think everybody can agree with me on that. But what happened is, back in 2014, I got my first saltwater aquarium that I have wanted ever since sometime in the 80s. So I finally got it, kept it for a year and a half, 2 years, something like that, and decided I needed more sophisticated equipment to keep saltwater fish. Otherwise I would end up completely abandoning that side of the hobby, because it wouldn't be fun. So I do intend to try again at some point, but with more money and better equipment, because keeping saltwater fish in kind of the conditions that you keep freshwater fish, but just add salt, that'll set you up for getting out of that side of the hobby real quick. So I do want to try again, but I want to try again with better equipment, a protein skimmer, better equipment. But for the time that I did have the tank, I noticed that my plants seemed to be doing better. And I thought to myself, why? What's the connection? There seemed to be a connection, but I had to think about where it was. And it turned out that it was in the water changes. Because what I would do is I would drain No Name's tank down, get the water out, because that's, if you don't know anything about fish, that's a water change. You take some out and add some. Kind of like the name suggests, huh? And so I would drain this one down, get it ready for fresh water, and then I would drain the saltwater tank down, get it ready for fresh water, and then with that same bucket that just had the marine salt water in it, I would of course dump that out first, and then I would fill the bucket with fresh water for No Name's tank here. And I realized that there were some traces of the salt water in the bucket when I filled it with fresh, but I didn't think it was enough to make a difference in anything. And I would fill the tank up, and then I would water the plants with the tank water with the minute amounts of the marine aquarium water in it. And they seem to do better. So I figured out that that's how they were getting the minerals and the salt for the saltwater tank. And that's what I think it is. I think the minerals, because it's a marine salt mix, instant ocean. Where have you heard that before? If you've got any interest in fish at all, you may have heard that one before. Instant ocean. So that's where it came from. But I don't have the saltwater tank anymore. So, 1/4 of a teaspoon at a time, I'm trying to figure out where that spot is that made my plants look better. I'm not quite sure that they've reverted back, because they still, I mean, you know, unless they're mad at me like this one, they still look pretty good. The only ding this one has, boy, I cannot stop kicking this. I guess I probably should just put it back on the fish tank. This one jumped off the fish tank one day, and that little ding on that leaf is the only damage that occurred from that. I got really lucky, because this spike that is doing, it is going to do something of a round 3. Looks like I'm going to get 2 blooms for round 3, and then with any luck this spike will be done, because the plant needs to, you know, make a new leaf and grow some more roots, although it's growing roots at the same time. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where the sweet spot is that will maintain the better results that seemed to happen when I had the aquarium. It was getting the salt. Question is how much salt was it getting? Or were they getting? Like I say, everything gets it. Go ahead and still got some blooms on this African. Yeah. A little bit of salt in my fish tank is the one thing that I do add, and maybe I would add it without the plants for the color enhancement that I got on the fish. You know, I might be adding it anyway, but I really think that that salt that got left behind from the fish tanks, yeah, I think it's doing something. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let you go before I go over my 15 minutes again. The channel's been confirmed, authorized, no, not monetized, that's not the word. But I'm still afraid to go over my 15 minutes, so I'll let you go and talk to you next time.